Hey, hey, hola, hola, hola. Hey, Kara. I am just waiting for everybody to come over from Faye's side. And okay, we're good. We're live. We're live. Hey, Bethany. All right, all right, all right. So I'm not going to go too much into the intro today because I'm doing something that might take me a little bit more time. And as you can see, we are a lot closer than we normally are. I'm trying something different. I figured since we're going to be doing some tips and tricks. Hola, hola, I see everybody. Let me go through and say my hellos. Awesome, 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 awesome. Look, I had to be ready to go. You know it. It would have took me literally like 5 to 10 minutes to put this tape on evenly. So I had to go ahead and get it ready. But hey, Mom. Okay, okay. All right, so today's pub crawl for me is going to be based off of liner trips and tips for hooded eyes. And so normally I do this with the camera a lot further away. Like this is, you can see all my pores. Can you see my sins? You can see everything. We real up close and personal right now. Here's my son. So what we're going to be doing is just some things that I've seen over the course of me wearing makeup for the last couple of years, because I haven't worn makeup all my life, contrary to popular belief, in a way to like keep liner that looks impactful on hooded eyes and is not too much and you're like liner to your earlobes, you know what I mean? At least that's not something I'm normally going for. I like to have something that's impactful that fits my eye shape. So yeah, just a couple of different things. And I'm going to give you some different mediums that I use to do my liner. So one of the things that, well, I was talking to actually Toya. Where's Toya at? Anybody see Toya? Is she in here? Oh, are we frozen again? I hope we're not frozen again. But one of the things that I have issues with is a lot of times you'll put liner on, and if you can see, my eyes are, this one is one, and then this one is a double fold for my hooded eyes. So a lot of times if I put liner on, it'll be like invisible in this area over top of my eyelid, and then this part will be very visible, so it looks kind of disjointed. So normally, if you use like a liquid liner, that's not my preference of what to do. Okay, this one's for you. That's not my preference to do liner because if anyone who does have hooded eyes and you use liquid liner, it will kind of transfer up here, and that happens to me all the time. It drives me insane. So one of my biggest things, I just don't use liquid liner anymore. Now I use either pencil liner or gel pot liner, or I use mixing medium with shadow. So one of the things that I really like to do is use a mixing medium called Maron to create my own liners. And I was testing some things out earlier and realized I am completely out. So I had to go, my husband is such a trooper. I had to go on Ulta's website and find if there was a mixing medium that they sold. And I was in luck because they sell one by NYX, which I've never even knew or even tried it before. And I thought this was a liquid, and it's not a liquid, but it is interesting. And it was on the buy one, get one half off. So today's the last day. So if you guys were interested, but they have a multitasker mixing medium. Oops, comes in a little tube like this, and it's actually a gel. And I'll go into a little bit more about how I mix it. And you can take them and take shadows, pigments, glitter, and turn them into liner looks. And that's one of my best things that I love about the Maron. When we used it when I was in makeup school, this was one of the things that we always use for liner, because when you got your kit, you literally only got like one liner, a black liner, that was it. So there was no funky, fun colors to do. And, you know, we were all in school, so we didn't have money to go out there and buy all these like beautiful colors. So we would get cheap eyeshadows and use the Maron mixing medium and create our own liner, especially when we're doing like special effects makeup and all that different stuff. So another really good thing if you're going to be using mixing medium is have a palette. So you can get these really cheaply, at I think I got these at Michael's. They're like a 6-pack for maybe like $3 or so. And then this is a metal mixing one that I got from Friends Beauty, and I don't know, I think it's just their brand. Just one little caveat. So you guys all know the Nest that makes those 24 hour Colorfix things. Yeah, if you leave it on your mixing palette, this joker does not come off. It stays on here for life. For life. I scrubbed this with a Brillo pad and it still wouldn't come off. So don't let these dry completely on your mixing mediums, because then they're not gonna be ruined, but they're not gonna look so pretty no more. So I was trying to be cute and give you a little pretty side over here, but you know, it's makeup, it's whatever. So another thing that I always find that I have trouble with hooded eyes when I try to use neon liners like this, because I also have oily eyes. So whenever I try to use these on my top lash line here, they never stay, or they seem to get like rubbed off all the time. So I find that stamping over liners, pencil liners and gel liners with an eyeshadow is also a really good way for you to go ahead and create your vibrant liner that'll last. So, oh, for Petri dishes, okay, yeah. It is bonded to the metal. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right, so I'm just gonna show you some examples of how I can make some impactful cream shadows and liners without having to buy all these crazy colors. So, oh, another thing I wanted to say is, if you don't want to buy a mixing medium, these little things that you get in like your palettes that everybody throws away, I keep them and then use them until they're all gross, and then I throw them out, and then I get another one and then use that one and throw it out. So that's like a real like way to be like eco savvy, to reuse certain items. So this is a really, really old Urban Decay eyeshadow palette. Actually, I think this is either like my first or second time I ever purchased like a high-end eyeshadow palette. And these are some really pretty colors, but they're just not as impactful any longer. So what I like to do is I take those colors, I mix them together with the mixing medium. One second, I'm gonna try and see if I can. I have it on an arm, so I'm gonna bring this down a little bit and see if I can show you guys how to do this. All right, so you would take your mixing medium and put just a dollop there, and then you can take a spatula or a knife. Can you guys see that? There we go, a spatula or a knife, and then you put that back on there. And then, okay, we're back. All right, and then you would just scrape it off onto the palette. So I'm just gonna take this green one right here. You see, sorry, my camera, this green one right here, which is kind of lackluster now. And then I would just put a little bit in there so it looks like that. And then I use paint brushes that I get from the dollar store or the art store that looks like this. Sorry, I'm just fixing it back the way I had it. That look like this, and they're super cheap. That way you don't mess up your eyeshadow brushes. And then I just mix it together. And you just kind of want to add a little bit of mixing medium to it. And now the shade that was like that, now it is a much shinier version of it. So this is the one with the mixing medium, and that is that swatch right here. So just something that you can do so you don't have to like buy all those different things. Another thing is that I will use glitter shadows like these that are pressed glitters that have no base to them. They're just dry in the pan. And then I will mix those together. and create them. So I'm going to go ahead and show you another way I do it is by using eyeshadow sticks. So I would take the eyeshadow stick right here, and then, for example, we'll just take this shadow right here, and then I will just press it on top of it to set it, and then there you go. So that's just like kind of like the basic kind of things that I do. You can also use potted liners for your liner. You can use, of course, liquid shadows like these, or these liquid liners, but I find that these are kind of thick. And this is the Essence Melted Chrome eyeliners. I know you guys know I like those ones that they have for the eyeshadows, but they make liners too. But do you see how thick this liner is? It's kind of hard to control it. So I don't necessarily care for that as a liner. I will usually put it on my hand, and then I might use an angled brush or a brush that is for people who have hooded eyes, this little crinkly one. Well, I guess bent one, maybe it's like a 45-degree angle, and you can use that to line it on like that. So, all right, we're going to jump into it. So for doing the technique where I use a pencil and then put the shadow over top, what I like to do is use a liner that is really, really creamy. So just like that. A lot of times I like to use the Pat McGrath liner because I feel like it's creamy, but it also sets in different ways. So I'm just going to show you. So I use these e.l.f., what are they called? Line and Define eye tapes. These are like $3 and you get like maybe 100 of them. And then I take them off, I cut them in half, and then I put them on either side. And then when I have it, I like to make sure that it goes underneath so that you see that you want to always connect your bottom to your top liner. So I want to make sure that I leave enough room underneath my eye so that I can have that connecting area to make it look complete. Even if you don't want to do shadow and everything all the way underneath, it will go ahead and just give you that little bit of room to make it work. So I take the liner, and you want to make sure that one that's kind of emollient. Don't do a dry one or it won't work as well. And basically what I do is, and don't do what I'm doing. Don't grab your eye. But basically what I'm doing is, oops, hold on. I'm trying to find a mirror. I thought I grabbed a different one, but I didn't. Fighting the time limit. All right. So you take your liner and you want to make sure that it's thick enough. So I always start on the end here. And you want to look in the mirror as straight ahead as you can, because you want to make sure that you can see the line thick enough here and it doesn't disappear. So if you are doing it this way and you're doing like a thin liner, when you go to open your eyes, it's going to disappear. So you want to kind of make sure that the way that you're looking forward doing your liner is the way that you look when you're looking onward at someone. So that's why I try to put the mirror like as close to my face so I can see that difference there. And then I go, it's kind of hard to do this because I normally don't have to hold the mirror and be in the camera at the same time. So, and it's okay if you are messy, because the whole point of having this emollient liner is that you can use the smudger brush and clean it up. Oops, a little bit too messy. Okay, and then I just take the liner out as far as I want to go. Again, being conscious to have my eyes open, and then close my eyes, and then I see where the mistakes are going to be. And then so then I take a angled liner brush and smooth it out. while keeping my eye open. Just like that. So, all right, I think the comments are not coming in again like it was last time. But basically, that's what you do there. And then so I want to put, I'm going to put Pat McGrath Synthetica, that purple color over top. And then so I take that same angle liner brush and just make sure I get it on here so that it's pretty thick, because you're going to want to press this to set your liner. And then I always do my eyes first because I'm super messy, so take that into consideration too. And then, I don't know if you can see that. And just stamp it over it right here. Just like that. And I super fall out, but that's why I always do my eyes first, because I can never, I'm never going to be able to be that person who can do eyeshadow without being messy. So that's what that looks like right there. And then if you want to continue it further, then you just use the tape to continue your line right there. It helps you keep that edge right there, which is really great. And then another really good thing about these eye tapes is that they're not like regular tape, because I see people use regular tape and it makes me like want to just, it's just so squeamish, because your eyes are so super sensitive and you're using tint to like kind of rip it off of your skin. Even if you like tap it off and put it on first, that's a little bit better than just putting regular tape. But these are very gentle, so when you peel them off, there is no lag. So that's what that eye looks like right there. And super, super easy to see. So let's see. Hold on. Sorry, I'm still trying to, I'm using a different setup, so I'm trying to make sure I got it right. And I don't have makeup wipes, so I'm using feminine wipes. They're actually on the go wipes. But I got this in a beauty box and I don't use this type of thing, but I'm like, okay, well, I knew today was going to be messy. So there we go. But that is how I do my liner. That's a pencil liner with the shadow over top, just like that. And then if you have something, of course, like in this crease area, you can just go ahead and fix it. But basically, you just want to make sure that enough of it shows when you close your eyes so that it's impactful. And that's how I do that version of it. Can you guys, so good. I'm glad you guys can see it. Oh, so you know, the best way to line it up with your brows, and so you know, the front of your eye here goes up to this top part of your brow. Sorry, I'm looking at the camera so it's flipped. And then you do the angle right here. That's how you know where your arch is supposed to be. And then here is where the end of your brow is supposed to be. And that's how you're supposed to know where your angle is. And I find for my eye shape, if I go super high, it ends up looking kind of wonky looking. So you always want to kind of stretch it out a little bit more, especially when you have hooded eyes. It elongates your eyes just a little bit more. So yeah, I hope you guys can see that. All right, so how much time do we have? Okay, good. We have 10 minutes. Okay, so then I'm gonna do one using the cream shadow, and I'm gonna use it and do a glitter liner. Thank you. Oh, we can talk about this. I can show you how to do this. I used to be a wax specialist. I used to do only eyebrows for a European wax center for years. So I can explain to you like better like how to do that. All right. So this is a Cover Shot Bold Glitter Eye Palette. I really like this, not because I like to use it really for glitter because it's a dry glitter, but because for my liners, I like to press that over top of it. And I've seen that with this NYX mixing medium, it turns it into a really pretty shadow that looks really nice. So I'm going to use the, let's use the green one right here. Or, yeah, purple. So I'll use green on this side. So basically, I'm going to do the same thing where I take off some of this shadow here, put it on my little palette like so, and then I'm going to put the mixing medium on it and mix it up, and then use the paintbrush to make it into a cream shadow, and then we can do a liner over top of that. So again, I just use cheap paint brushes because I don't want to ruin my nice brushes. And then I just mix this up really well and try to make sure the shadow is like broken up. And then you can see that now it's like a really nice cream shadow. And so now I can just press this. Now I can just press it over top. And I hope you guys can see that now and how simple that was for me to just do my liner. And then of course, do that and make sure you're looking straight so that you can see the areas that are going to be shown. But yeah, it's really just that simple. And then if you want to use pigments or any type of pigments that are like the matte ones or a shimmer one, you can do that. Mehron sells metallic powders that you can use, and it shows like a really like foiled liner that you can do. Oops, I'm trying to catch up to the. Oh, you're gonna wax. I missed some of that conversation, but so you can take that shimmery metallic powder that Mehron sells and use the mixing medium, and then you can create even more of a foiled look, which is really pretty. And then another thing that I like to do is when I have liner and my liner's dry, I actually like it when it's dry more because then I can scoop it out, mix it with some of the mixing medium, and then use that as a liner because sometimes it's kind of hard for me even to use like the gel liner. I just think because I have like shaky hands and I have arthritis that it's just kind of challenging sometimes for me. So if you have those issues in your hands, this might be something that might be a little bit easier for you to be able to do. So I'm just mixing up that. My LA Girl one is like a little dry. So I'm mixing it with the mixing medium now. And I'm gonna take a clean brush if I can find one. And then you can just take that and do it just underneath if that's what you wanted to do. Or put it in your waterline. Just like that. Super easy, really simple. You don't have to be scared of liner. You don't have to buy these. You can create your own cream shadows for relatively inexpensive, or especially if you're using old shadows or using pigments. Pigments are very, very, very inexpensive. But yeah, so those are basically like all of my kind of tips and tricks on what I do to create cream shadows and liners and how to make them look impactful and pop on hooded eyes. So we'll go ahead and take this one off. And then see, now you have a liner that's sharp enough to cut a bitch. Yes, yes. Oh man, you could tell I love liners. A lot of times I won't wear eyeshadow. I'll just wear a glittery liner and that'll just be my thing. I just really, really like it. So yeah, and I think between the Mehron and the NYX one, I have to say, I think I'm liking the NYX one better than the Mehron one, only because as a liquid, it's very easily to dilute your pigment, and then you have to keep adding more pigment to get like that consistency. Whereas the NYX, because it's almost like a Vaseline. Can you guys? Oops. I don't know if you can see that. It's almost like a Vaseline looking type of mixing medium. It's very easy to control how much you're getting out, and you're able to just put a little dab on there. I like this much better, and I feel like making the cream shadows is a lot easier with this than with the Mehron. But if you want like one of those really like fluid liners, or if you wanted to make your liner that's dried out more liquid, the Mehron is good for that. It's like a Duraline Inglot, same thing, how you can use it to kind of like bring it back to life. But yeah, so far I'm liking this. I want to play with it a little bit more and actually do like a full do a full look with maybe for Halloween, and using this and some shadows to see how they wear on the skin, because I think that'll be really interesting to see like how that goes. But yeah, so that's really simple. Do you guys have like any questions? You can't do a liner look and an eyeshadow look. See, I think you're wrong. I do eyeshadow looks with liner looks all the time. You just have to know what is the contrast from it. So like if you're doing a very neutral look, then you can have a really bold liner. If you're going to be doing a very over the top eyeshadow look with a lot of color in it, then maybe you only want to do a black or a white liner. And you can also just use the water activated that cake liners that are really popular right now, because it's really easy to make those look really thick, and they're a lot more easier to control than a regular liquid liner. So yeah, I think that there's a ways to get around that. Let's see. Yes, Livy, we see you wearing colorful liner. We stand. You guys don't know, go on to Olivia's Instagram. She has the most beautiful looks, and they're just awesome. The gel, I'm telling you, this like gel Vaseline consistency is that. Oh, also another thing that I like to do sometimes when I'm in a pinch, I don't like to do this all the time, but because it's kind of hard to kind of see where you lay it down, but you can make a wing liner using the glitter primer. And instead of me doing it like the whole entire way, what I'll do is I'll stamp it in one section, put the powder, put the eyeshadow over top of it, stamp the next section, put the powder over top of it, and do it that way. Do it, and do it in little sections at a time instead of all at once, because it'll dry before you get it all the way across. So this is another thing that you can do and try out. And I think most people have NYX glitter primer, but it is good to see that they also have a medium one as well. And again, you could also just use Danessa's. So say you had Danessa's and you wanted to change the color, you can use a cream shadow and make your liner with it and just stamp on a different powder over top, or take these cream shadows and then mix in a different pigment to change the color and consistency. So there's definitely. Oh, my villain is going to be Klaus Michelson. I don't know how many of you are vampire lovers, but I have been obsessed with Vampire Diaries and their originals, and Klaus Michelson is the villain of it, but he ends up being such a good bad guy. Just like, you hate him because he's so evil, but he's like so good at the same time, and he's fine. And if you guys don't know, in real life, he's married to the girl from Girlfriends. So I was like, oh my goodness. I just thought like my worlds had intersected. But anyway, that is who my villain is. He's a vampire. He's actually a vampire and a hybrid werewolf. So he's two things. And he was a witch in his past life before his mama turned him into a vampire. But that's a long story for another time. But anyway, yes. So for the Mayron, I had like a sample of like a oil stopper that I was using, and then once I finished it, I cleaned it out, and then I was using that mini stopper to use it for my Mayron. But I can't tell you how many times I would have this open and I would spill it because I forgot to put the lid on too tight. So that is a bit of a pain. I wish they would make this a little bit easier to use, or maybe, I mean, I guess by having this be plastic, it's easier for them to sell it at a cheap price point. But if it was glass or maybe in a tin, I feel like maybe it wouldn't fall over as much. Okay, yeah. For all my shimmers, I wear NYX glitter primer always. I used to have the Duraline. I've never used the Esom Pro one though. But oh, sorry, who's next? Is Bethany going on next? Oh, Mo's next. All right, guys. I think my time is up. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you liked, and if you liked everything we're doing, we do it every Saturday. Please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.